If the person who brings you into this world tells you you have no value, at some point you believe it. The first time I was physically abused was a shock. I remember driving with my mom, and the car stopped in the country, and she turned around and just started to beat me with her fist. And it was at that moment where like the innocence and I think the light and the voice that all kids have was silenced. At 16, when it stopped, I fought her off and I ran out the door and I went up the street to a neighbor's home. The next day I go back to our house and the entire house is bare. Everything is gone. And I remember thinking, I'm free. It's over. No one is here to hurt me. I had become a very good tennis player and a coach. I had started a business. I was married and seemingly happy. I think the effect of the abuse, even though it stopped when I was 16, it didn't really start to take hold of me until in my 30s. I searched for really years to find an example of someone like me, a man who was a boy, who was abused, and someone who had created a pathway out, and I didn't find that. I had about given up on life, and I got a phone call from someone who did change my life.
I was a little worried about what I was stepping into, what Marcus's expectations were going to be after 4 years of nothing happening. But very quickly I realized that Marcus had an inner strength and an inner fire to him that is just uncommon. That allowed us to really go to kind of the depths of his memories and his trauma in a way that not everyone can do. And ultimately, I believe it was his strength and openness that really conveyed to the jury the truth about what had happened to him and what his mother had done to him.
Finally, in 2021, we set off the trial. And through that trial, we got a guilty verdict. And my abuser was sentenced to 15 years. And I remember looking at Jamie, and I remember her shaking and her crying. But then it hit me that this meant more to her than just the job.
We continued communications, and really from there we built a friendship on other levels regarding his advocacy and the projects he's taken up since then.
It's a part race. There's medals for finishing and prizes. But we also want to highlight what abuse looks like. It's meant to bridge the gap from abuse to help. We realized that tennis being an expensive sport, that we had an opportunity to put rackets and education and curriculum into the hands of kids who otherwise wouldn't be able to play the game. We provide the rackets, backpacks, anything they need for that first year to get going, and we do it at no cost.
He is truly making a difference, one life at a time. Children, adults, doesn't matter, but we are so lucky to have him in this community.
I'm trying to mold the idea that every kid has a Coach Marcus, which is someone that is advocating for their best interest, being the guardian or the role model that I needed. I'm being that for that child.